Hi guys, it's Mitch here. I hope you're all safe and well. I'm just coming on to do the Facebook card reveals for you all. So, as we're going into card one, we're going into the energy of the Eight of Pentacles. Now, when the Eight of Pentacles shows, this is all about basically investing in yourself, in your craft, in your career, in your life, really. So what's lovely with this card is the way that the pentacles are created. They're made up of sort of corn and wheat, so things are being sort of harvested, if you like. And this is a really, really important time to invest in yourself. So if you want to go for that new sort of job promotion or change of job role, apply for it, go for it, put your best foot forward. If you're wanting to make that decision to sort of set up a self-employed business, it's time to go for it. It's time to do it. It's time to bring that into reality. If you're somebody at the moment that is just investing in terms of you've already got maybe some sort of financial success and security, but how do you want money to work for you? It's sort of opening up yourself to projects, to ideas, to the things that add purpose and add value. So this is a really, really important time to perfect your craft, your skills, and to harness the best of your capabilities, what you have accessibility to. For some of you, you might be wanting to go back and do apprenticeships, or you may be wanting to go back to college and learn something new that you can then use as a path moving forward. And if you fall into that bracket, this is also absolutely fine to do. But this card's really important in not just settling. It's not just getting by. It's not just plodding along. It's actually making a positive difference and thinking, do you know what, to actually see results, I have to become the change. So this is a really, really important time to believe in yourself, in your magic, in your power, in your capabilities, and just go after all these things that can sort of enrich your life. So quite an important time. For some people, this might involve even sort of changes with careers moving overseas. So there could be some stuff that you're turning your hand to, which might take you abroad. But whatever works for you, make it work for you. That's the key thing. Believe and succeed and receive. That's what's coming in very strong with this card, if you've been drawn to card one. Now then, guys, as we're going into card two, we're going into the Wise One, also known as the Hermit in conventional tarot. So what's quite interesting with the Wise One or the Hermit card, it's almost like there's a need for some of you maybe to pull back a little bit. Maybe some of you have been peopling too much, and maybe some of you have been sort of spreading your energy to too many types of circumstance or situations. Often what you find with the Hermit card or the Wise One, it's like they often feel a little bit, not so much stuck, but just never completely fulfilled. So sometimes when we're around people, we're craving that solitude. Sometimes when we are in solitude, we're craving people, but we can never seem to always find the balance. And this is also living quite a sort of independent life. This is living a life that often other people don't always get, they don't always understand. But the hermit lives by his own rules, his own set of principles, and if it works for you, if it kind of, if it serves your soul and your purpose, that's good enough. So not needing to explain yourself. The other thing with the Wise One is they do have this sort of fountain of sort of knowledge and sort of magic, and it's knowing when to be seen and when to be invisible, hence why they got the cloak. Now what's really interesting, I was reminded of this the other day actually by somebody, and somebody sort of a good friend of mine sort of, we were having a chat about some stuff, some bits and pieces that have been happening, and she sort of said, with this particular stuff, just be a bit invisible with it. You don't need to sort of make it a drama. You don't need it to become too public and everything else. And it was really, really interesting what she was sort of saying. And it was a good reminder that sometimes what we think we're doing is helping someone is actually sometimes putting us in a place of risk or a place of vulnerability. So with the Wise One, they can sort of almost be seen when they want to on their terms, but they can be a little bit invisible when they need to be. So maybe some of you have been feeling like you have felt too sort of seen, too sort of exposed recently, and maybe some of you are having to become a little bit more hidden and go sort of a little bit more underground, as it were. Or perhaps the opposite. Maybe it could be that you've been hiding and it's now time to be seen. So this card can be quite reversible in a lot of ways. So take the pieces that resonate and make a little bit of sense for you, but an interesting one. But usually the Hermit is encouraging us to go slow, to pull back, to think things through before we make instant moves or decisions, or before we act upon something. So again, the Wise One or the Hermit is interesting for that. They don't have to immediately give their power to something. They can have that time to think, to adjust, to process. And sometimes we forget that. So that's quite important if you've been drawn to this card. And finally, if you've been drawn to card 3, we're going into the energy of the Four of Pentacles. Now, when the Four of Pentacles shows, this is about having sort of money, having success, but having to guard it slightly. So maybe some of you have been feeling a little bit kind of cautious about sort of decisions or people or circumstances around you. It may be for some of you, this comes up a lot, say if maybe jobs are perhaps at risk or on the line and we're needing to physically guard our place of employment a little bit more. So maybe some of you have been feeling a little bit fragile where sort of employment and job opportunities are concerned, or if you've been sort of self-employed, it could just be that things have been a little bit hard going. And whilst you can still obtain money, maybe you're having to work that a little bit more careful, a little bit more cautious. Maybe money in general has just been a little bit more heightened recently and having to make it work on your terms a bit more. This card comes up a lot as well if maybe there are changes romantically with people, if there have been separations or divorces, and maybe there's the splitting down of money. There's the sort of you know, making sure people have what's rightfully theirs and everything. So maybe money's just been highlighted a bit more if you've been going through sort of types of separation or changes of circumstance. But it's definitely an important time to sort of focus. But remember, money is still there, it's still accessible. So even if it feels a bit fearful, a bit scary, a bit overwhelming, if there are long-term changes to come, they can still be okay in the future, even if it makes you feel a bit vulnerable in the immediate space. So be aware, okay? So quite an interesting set of cards this week. But I'm going to leave them with you. I hope they make a little bit of sense. Stay well, stay safe, stay fabulous. I hope you guys are keeping safe, because I know with the weather, we've had a lot of flooding, particularly where I live. There's been a lot of flooding. My house is okay, it's on a hill, but a lot of nearby people have been struggling. So stay safe, you know, because it is quite a strange time at the moment, weather-wise. What else do I need to talk about? This Saturday, you can find me in Henstridge. I will be doing Night of Mediumship. I now have just 25 tickets left, and then that night will be sold out. It is a ticket event only, so please don't turn up if you don't have a ticket, because you may well be turned away. The beautiful Amy Michelle will be there with her Nemesis crystal store with a full range of crystal goodies that you can purchase on the night. Paul will be there with my signed programs, as well as meditation CDs, and my new Oracle deck. There'll be teas and coffees and possibly some biscuits and cakes available, but definitely teas and coffees and soft drinks available on the night. So what more could you possibly want? So come along, get involved. Like I say, last 25 tickets left. Be great to see some of you lovelies in Henstridge if you're free, if you're stuck for something to do this coming Saturday. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Start time is 7:30 with a half an hour break, and it will end around 10 o'clock. So I will leave it with you. Have an amazing week, whatever you get up to. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you very soon. Love and blessings. Bye for now.